Hi, Guido Fox here. Welcome by a new book report. Book report 291 already. We're moving to books 300. That will be amazing result, I think. It's not so much coaches who read so many books like me. But I want to talk about this book is Attached. Interesting book about nearly 250 pages of information I read for you. Attached, like the book, the title, and also 2 million copies were sold from this book from Amir Levine. Attached. It's about your attachment styles. 20% of the people have an anxious attachment style. They're afraid and they're coming in a relationship, and mostly they're coming into controlling behavior, clinching behavior, testing behavior, checking behavior. This kind of patterns you will see if you're very anxious in relationship that she or him will leave you soon. 25% of the people is avoidant. They are constantly keeping away if the other partner is coming close by, and you get this cat and mouse dynamics in the relationship. Very, very tiring, very destructive, and it causes so many problems in relationship, this insecurity, and a lot of times this anxious and avoidant attachment style persons are finding each other in each other's wounds. I don't want to talk with you so much about these wounds from the past created by rejections or family patterns. But anxious persons are attached to avoidance mostly, and avoidance with anxious partners, and that will create, of course, the toxic relationships where you actually don't want to get in. So the avoidant is always wants to keep her or him space and trying to get the other person on distance with so-called deactivating strategies. So you use strategies in your relationship like a phantom X, page 124. So you picture in your mind your ex relationship when you're in the relationship with your current partner, to in a kind of way escape from the reality because it will be too close for you, or you're in your fantasy about your dream partner, about a partner far away. Maybe you met someone in the past, or you dream about an partner who's not existing, but it's in your mind. You dream about this future maybe partner, and you are then away from your current relationship, from your current partner, and that gives you enormous space in your feeling of freedom, in the way you act in the relationship. I remember from my early relationship that I was still with my head, sometimes by my ex relationship, then, and it gives me a lot of mental freedom in a kind of way, and therefore it felt not so serious with my current relationship. So I understand this deactivating strategies. And I don't say don't think about your ex, because that's also natural, because you had time together, but it has to not be an deactivating strategy, right? That is something what is very unhealthy. 50% of the people are secure. I found it very high amount. So 50% is secure in society, and 5% of the people are mixed, anxious, and avoidant. So they're sometimes in the avoidant phase, and sometimes they have an anxious phase. I remember that I was a lot of times avoidant in the relationship. I needed also a lot of freedom, by the way. But sometimes I was so picked so much freedom that she was stepping back, and then I became anxious and do everything what I could do to bring her back in the relationship. So I recognize some patterns by me too. Page 77, you are only as troubled as the relationship you are in. And that is so true. Your relationship is so important. If you're in bad relationship, it affects you, it affects your work. You share your trouble with everyone, so it's also interfering in your social relationships, in your parental relationships. Will be influenced. So you're as trouble as the relationship you are in. Your relationship really affects you. And therefore, it's so important that you have a healthy relationship um, um, style. What is really fitting by you? I mean, if you want to have a monogam relationship, and it's fitting by you, you do that. If you have multi-people relationship, do what you want. If you have open relationships, do what you want. If you stay happy single and it's fitting by you, do what you want, what is fitting by you. But be aware that also if you're single and you have some partners for sexual intimacy, that it is on a healthy way. So that's actually what I teach you, that you're not avoidant for a relationship, but that you're doing things in your life what is fitting by your personality, and that it is a healthy system, because you are troubled as the relationships you are in, and that is so true. From Dr. Levine, that is a very important factor in your life. Avoidant personalities have mixed signals. In one time they hate you and they step away, and one time they come close to you. So they're really, let's say, flexible personalities. They're not quite stable. So if you're dealing with an avoidant in your relationship, then see this mixed signals as a kind of fear pattern, right? They're so afraid to bond, so they one time they're telling to themselves, I don't want to be by this person, so I have to use my distance moves, my deactivation strategies. And the other time they are in their anxious mood, then they clinch on you, they gave you compliments, and they lift you up. So you can be feeling a little bit brainwashed, or you don't know where you stand as a mostly anxious attachment styler. So this kind of mixed signals can be very tiring, but see it as an expression of the fear of the other person, that this kind of psychology treatments uh, are going on in your life. Yeah, I talked with you, page 124. I talked with you a little bit about the Phantom X and looking for the one. So if your avoidant partner is dreaming away or searching contact with the ex, it could be that the relationship is actually very good, is very intense, is very close by, and this person is searching for space. So I also read in a book that actually when the avoidant is using the deactivation strategies, then the relationship is too close. This after a holiday together or after a long weekend together, the avoidant is searching for space, and that is also his or her problem, right? You can tell to yourself the way how someone is picking their freedom is for themselves, is their own escaping from their wounds, is their own responsibility. It's not your responsibility. It's not your. It's not part of your please behavior. It's not part of your Stockholm behavior to taking care always for your partner, but leave him alone and know that this mixed singles can be part of the avoidant attachment style. A very short book report, but it's also nice. Page 203 is that avoidant has mostly an arrogant, inflated self-esteem, but also with an underlying insecurity pattern. So it's mostly overcompensating. They have a grandiose self-esteem, and you think, wow, this guy or this woman have so much self-confidence. How that's possible? I really like this person, but after a while, it is fake. They're falling through, and bottom the mask is off from this person. An avoidant attachment styler have mostly an overcompensated and inflated self-esteem. And the anxious person are increasing in self-doubt, and the anxious is always more suffering than the avoidant. The anxious is mostly also the weaker part of the relationship, and the anxious person is increasing in self-doubt because of that mixing signals, right? So there's mixing signals, there's deactivation strategies, delivers you self-doubt, causes self-doubt, and sometimes you're falling in paranoia and in exaggeration. You're thinking in extremes. If the avoidant is doesn't call you back, then you think already the worst thing, and you become in panic, hysterical, and paranoia behavioral patterns, and that is very, very, very unhealthy. So watch out if you're anxious in your attachment style, that it could causes this kind of paranoia, controlling behavior, and try to step out of that. Thank you for watching this video about attached, and I wish you a wonderful day. Bye bye.